All right, folks, I don't want to talk about it, but we got to talk about it. Is an SEC versus Ripple appeal more likely after the update that we just got yesterday? Let's break this down. I'm going to get straight on into the lawsuit in this update, but I did want to mention a couple things here first. I did interview Lynette Zhang yesterday and Michael Gayed the day before. Both of those interviews will be listed in the interviews playlist on my YouTube channel. You guys should be able to find that in the playlist section. Want to make that easy for everybody to find and remind you guys, or if you didn't get the notification, make sure you guys have subscribed, hit that notification bell, and let's get started right away. Everything's at ZachRector.com. You already know the deal. This is what's up here in this lawsuit with Ripple filing a letter requesting a stay of the monetary portion of the court's judgment entered on August 7, 2024. What does this mean in simple terms? We have Sherry with the response. Ripple and the SEC agree that the $125 million shouldn't be sent over to the SEC until after the window of no appeal comes, which is a 60-day appeal window, takes us to October 7th, or if an appeal is filed, then until the point of resolution ending from the appellate court. So basically, Ripple's saying, hey, are you going to appeal this case? Let's make a decision. We have the money. That's not a problem. We can put up the money today. Or if you're going to appeal, we can put it up into a bond and we can have it ready to roll. But what's the decision going to be? Now, off of this, we have a response here on Good Morning Crypto Show with Abs and the whole gang over there. Huge shout out to them. I've been on their show at least once, maybe twice. Good folks over there. They had Meta Lawman on to break this down. And so the reason why I titled this episode, Is the SEC Appeal More Likely?, is because this is a direct quote from a lawyer, James Murphy, Meta Lawman on X. Let's listen in on his insight right here. Now, remember, real quickly, to clarify, the SEC has agreed to Ripple's request to withhold the monetary portion of the court's judgment issued August 7th. So the SEC is agreeing to not make them pay until the SEC either decides to appeal or that window of appeal expires. James Medellon says, quote, I think it makes it more likely the SEC will appeal. Listen to him respond to this real quick.
I got to say, I think it makes it a little bit more likely that there's going to be an appeal. Because if the SEC had already decided that they're not going to appeal, then they would just say, no, go ahead and pay us. This case is done. So the only two possibilities now are that they are undecided or they have decided to appeal based on what you just read to me. And typically when you have a large judgment like this, you request a stay to pay it, and if that's denied, then sometimes you can use what's called an appeal bond. You don't have to write a check for $125 million. You can get a bond for, a tiny fraction of that will pay in the event you lose on appeal. So it feels to me like a signal that they're more likely to appeal.
So that is James Murphy, Meta Lawman. I want to give a shout out to him because I did see that he was with John Deaton up in Massachusetts yesterday. John Deaton did win the primary, and so he's going to be going head-to-head against Elizabeth Warren. We'll be talking about that more in a separate update. But in regards to this case, you guys let me know in the comments down below. Is the SEC going to appeal? And then I'm going to talk about what happens next here after I read this response from Fred Rispoli. To those freaking out over the possible SEC versus Ripple appeal, don't. There won't be a ruling until 2026. Now, what Fred means is that there won't be a ruling as far as on the appeal court level until 2026. So from now until then, we know XRP in and of itself is not a security, and the facts and the court precedent that's been set, that is set until we get a ruling, which wouldn't be until 2026. SEC suing exchanges and alleging multiple tokens as securities has lessened the sting dramatically. If Ripple and or XRP don't make it now, it's not because of the SEC's case. This is what I want to talk about here next. If the SEC does appeal, we expect Ripple to appeal as well. What everybody wants to know, what happens to the token? And to Fred's point, he is correct. If XRP misses this bull run, it's really not going to be because of a lack of clarity. We do have that, We have a legal court precedent. Now, could you make the argument that some partnerships would be stalled, some developments would be stalled in the ecosystem because of an appeal? Absolutely. And I say that especially based off the fact that I think price-wise, XRP would get hit. It would get hit hard. Now, there's big support levels on the technical analysis basis. When we look at that, 40, 45 cents has been a big, massive level of support. So unless it's the end of the world and there's broader turbulence in the market at the same time as that appeal gets filed, which very likely could happen. We're looking at an appeal window October 6th, 7th. There's a lot lining up right now. And so if we get an appeal in the XRP lawsuit versus Ripple at the same time as any other turbulence in the markets, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be bad. What do you think I'm going to be doing? What do I know that many in our community are going to be doing? Based off of our fundamental thesis that has not changed despite a staged lawsuit continuing on. So if there is an appeal, I do expect XRP to come down. Be ready. This is why I'm talking about this and bringing this video up, is because I want you guys to be prepared. I want you guys to have some cash on the sideline, ready to move if that day does come, and you still want to buy XRP. Maybe you're done with XRP. Maybe based off the potential that there could be an appeal, you're done because you think that we're going to miss this bull run. Sure. There's people that already made that bet. I'm not making that bet. And I'm also not here to tell you which bet you should make. I'm not going to give you financial advice. I'm just telling you how I feel, which I'm not going anywhere, and I'm getting ready to buy some more on that dip if it does come. If it doesn't come, will XRP pump? Very well could. I think it'll be short-lived. So to either side, I think it'll be a short-lived move. It'll be a temporary bump or dump either way. If we get an appeal, it's going to fall off. If we don't get the appeal, there definitely could be a little pump, up to $1, maybe more. Who knows? This is such an interesting little asset here in XRP. This story is one of the most fascinating stories that'll be told in the past 100 years in regards to finance. And people are still discounting this as some little crypto fintech startup out of San Francisco that's really cute. It's like, this story is so much more than that. Now, we find ourselves on the moment here where, like I said, we got to be hedged. We got to be hedged mentally and emotionally prepared, right? You shouldn't bring your emotions into your investments ideally, but let's be real here. A lot of us have been tied up in this thing. I'm telling you guys what I'm doing. I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Do you think that the SEC is going to appeal? This makes it almost more likely. And I put out the scenario for Gary Gensler to, pull a Jay Clayton in his final move before he steps down or before Trump fires him. He files that appeal sometime between now and that appeal window expiring. He comes in last minute, just like Jay Clayton did with filing the lawsuit on his last day. It almost seems like all the world's a stage, doesn't it? We'll be watching, we'll have our popcorn, and we'll also have our cash ready to deploy, ready to make an allocation, because our fundamental thesis has not changed. And we got our big boy pants on over here. You guys let me know in the comments down below if you appreciate our updates. Please make sure you like this video. Everything's at ZachRector.com. And on the way out, just double check, make sure you got that notification bell hit so you don't miss any of our updates. We'll see you in the next one. God bless. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.